Can you discern between evil and good?
No, no, no! Damn it! Fuck!
Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here. Welcome back to The Evil Within. This is the last chapter of the last part of the DLC for Julie Kidman. This is chapter 4, and this is The Consequence, which is the second half of Kidman's story. So after we complete this, I'm a little sad to say, but also at the same time, I'm very satisfied. And you know, I'll be honest, I'm kind of proud of myself. At the end of this video, everything Evil Within will officially be on my channel on the hardest difficulty. So if you go to my channel right now, you can scroll down and there's actually a new tab that I created called the entire Evil Within series on the hardest difficulty. And so once this video is online, I will have on my channel the Evil Within on Akumu mode, the assignment on Kurayami mode, the consequence on Kurayami mode, and the executioner no damage walkthrough. I have finished this game. I have gotten all 71 achievements. There's nothing left for me to do, and so while I feel very proud of that, I also am a bit sad, because that means there's, you know, other than just the joy of playing this game, there's no reason for me to revisit this title. That being said, I'm not going to be sad for very long, because The Evil Within 2 is coming out in now less than 10 days, and I am freaking losing my shit over it. I'm getting really excited. Pardon my colorful language, but I really cannot wait for the sequel. Not even from a YouTube perspective. Like, sure, I want to be one of the first ones to get a hardest difficulty walkthrough online. I'm not gonna, you know, obviously that's a true fact, but even if my YouTube channel got shut down tomorrow, I just am freaking excited for the sequel. I love this game. I love this franchise. And from what I see so far, a couple, you know, journalists and in-industry people, they've gotten a little sample of the game. And from what I see, people are saying it's much more improved over the first one. And what I mean by that is, you know, the first game is fantastic. The first game's a lot of fun, but it does have its fair share of problems. And I think they really are going to nail those problems on the sequel and make a game. I'm very optimistic about this game. I think it's going to be game of the year, or one of the games of the year. I'm really, really looking forward to this. Now anyway, let's stop jumping ahead and let's get into chapter 4 of The Consequence. So right off the bat, we're going to come to this kind of dining room area, and there's going to be two haunted in here, and there's going to be this picture of Ruvik. And in order to make the haunted go away, you have two choices. You can either kill them, or you can burn the picture of Ruvik. Once you burn that picture, the haunted will automatically die. So I already have one axe in my inventory. However, I always like to have an axe in my inventory. So there's actually an axe in this room that I'm going to pick up later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sneak past the first haunted. So you saw I just walked right past him. No big deal. He's going to kind of stay on that half of the room. Now right here, this was an accident. I accidentally threw that bottle. That was completely by accident. I meant to throw a chemical light. So do not throw that bottle just yet. Instead, you're going to want to come over here and hide behind this counter here, and the second haunted is going to be in this area. Now, normally he's going to be easy to see. The problem is, like I said, because I threw that bottle, he ended up changing his path, and so that's when I kind of had to improvise, throw some chemical lights, because all I'm trying to do right now is I'm just trying to figure out where the hell this guy is. And then finally, I spotted him right here. Now again, usually he's going to be somewhere else, but because I accidentally threw that bottle, he changed his path. Nevertheless, you know, once he loses interest in that bottle, he's going to resume his normal path. I'm going to sneak up behind him, hit him with an axe, and remember the first haunted, he's going to kind of stick to that first half of the room. So you're going to go up to this Ruvik painting, and you should have no problem at all burning it. And now you're going to see in just a second, once you burn it, that's going to kind of trigger the end of this section. So Leslie will become I guess, unpossessed or whatever was going on with him. He'll flee into the next room, and now I'm going to go, because I used the axe that was already in my inventory from Chapter 3, I'm going to go back to where the axe was at the beginning of this room, just so I can always try to have an axe in my inventory. So that's kind of the benefit of this, is you want to pick and choose your battles. So for example, in an upcoming area, there's going to be 3 haunted. I'm only going to kill 2 of them, because it's just not necessary to kill the 3rd one. So you really got to choose your battles here in order to conserve ammo. And especially later on in this level, we're actually going to get a gun. We're going to get a sawed-off shotgun, and the same principle holds there. Now right here, this symbol on the wall, you can unlock this door. That's actually an option. There's a collectible over there, so you don't need to worry about it if you don't want to. I'm just going to kind of stick to the main path. But yeah, it feels really good. This game total, the main game and the 2 DLCs, there's a total of 71 achievements. And I finally, after I beat this on Kurayami mode, that was my 71st achievement. And it just feels really good for a number of reasons. So obviously my YouTube channel has only been around for like a year and a half. But when I was in high school, that's when I really got into achievement hunting and trophy hunting. I was addicted to it. It was so bad that I actually would buy games that I wasn't interested in just so I could get the achievements and the trophies. So I used to really be into that in high school, and that's actually when I started my first YouTube channel, Games, Guides, and Giggles, which I previewed on my 1,000 subscriber special video. But that channel didn't last, and then when I started this channel, I originally started as a trophy hunting channel. But then I kind of abandoned that, and the reason is I ended up just reaching a point where I don't have time to obsess over trophies and achievements. I still enjoy getting them occasionally, but at this point, the only games that I actually try to get 100% on are the games I really care about. So Uncharted, Batman games, and then The Evil Within. The Evil Within was a big one for me. Now you're going to come to this room here. There's going to be a couple corpses, so you're going to want to start sneaking around. And I'm going to show you a trick here which will make your life a lot easier. Trust me on this. So in this initial part, there's going to be 3 corpses. This guy, he's basically just going to stay here gnawing on that guy the entire time. So you don't really have to worry about him. You are going to want to make sure you have a bottle in your inventory. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a left right here, and you can see this cart, like a laundry cart. I'm actually going to push this, and what's going to happen, you got to be quick here. As soon as you push it, it's going to crunch some glass, and that's going to attract some corpses. So I'm going to immediately go over here. You can see you just have enough time to get away. The corpses will go investigate, and you're going to make your way into this vent. Now, the reason I pushed that laundry cart is because that's actually where you're going to have to go eventually, but you need to come in here first to get the key card. The thing is, when you're returning with the key card, it's a lot harder to push that cart and then go than it is to push the cart and then come back later and go. And I know it probably sounds very confusing because it's kind of complicated to explain, but just trust me on this. It's a lot easier to do it this way. So push the cart first, come into this meat locker, hide in this corner and throw a bottle. The 2 corpses are going to go investigate, and you got to do this quickly because their attention spans are pretty short. You're going to go over here, pick up the key card, and then immediately backtrack because you see they're going to come back to feasting on that poor haunted. So again, there should be plenty of bottles lying around, so as soon as you throw one, try to pick up another one. I already picked one up basically right after I threw it. But now that we have the key card, so when I pushed that laundry cart, it actually opened up a path to where we need to go. And so if you were to push the laundry cart now, it gets a lot harder because when you push the cart, it attracts the corpses, and then the corpses are going to chase you down that path. And you basically have to do things a lot quicker than you normally would have to doing it this way. So you see now, one of the corpses, he's going to come from that area. So I'm going to wait for him to unblock my path, and then I'm going to make my jump. So you can use a bottle as well, kind of try to get them away, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. You can see that both of them are going to go investigate, and now I'm going to sneak into the path that I previously opened up before going into the meat locker. Now there's going to be another corpse hiding around. So what you're going to do, you see all this glass, it's okay. Just try to move slowly over it because the glass will attract the corpses, but you can see that I have plenty of enough time The keycard swipe is right here. There is a corpse right by this door, but I'm just going to sneak right past him. So you see this. Very close call, but it ends up working out just fine, and then he'll automatically get locked out. And we are good to keep on keeping on. Now, there's going to be an area for an achievement coming up. I already had the achievement, so it didn't unlock, but I will show you how to get it. And it's kind of a cool achievement. It's one of the things that really makes me like these types of DLCs that tie into the main story. So if you remember, I think it was in chapter 13 in the main game, Sebastian is in the hotel and he's fighting the keeper. And then at the last second, this elevator, like a laundry chute elevator, comes and he's able to take it, and that's what allows him to survive his encounter with the keeper. So that all happened in the main game. What you're going to see right here, check this out. Here's the elevators, and if you listen, so listen to this.
Fuck.
So there you go. You could actually hear Sebastian say the F word down there, and then Kidman pressed the elevator button. So in a way, Kidman's actually the person that saved Sebastian during his encounter with the keeper, and I just thought that was a really cool touch. And again, you can get an achievement for doing that, but I already unlocked the achievement, which is why you didn't see it pop. Alright, so we're going to come to a room here, kind of similar to a previous room. There's going to be 2 pictures of Ruvik, and there's going to be 3 haunted. And so what I'm going to do, there's an axe right there, but remember I already have an axe in my inventory because we planned ahead for this. So I'm going to wait right here, and one of the haunted it's going to take a couple seconds, but he's going to come over and I'm going to give him an axe to the head. Now this room's a little different because once you burn the 2 pictures of Ruvik, the haunted will not actually disappear. So keep in mind there is an achievement for getting through this whole hotel section without being seen or without killing a haunted. I recommend just doing that on your regular playthrough. Don't bother with Kurayami mode. It's just going to make your life more difficult. But I'll let you decide how to do that. But I'm going to be killing these guys because it just makes things easier. So this haunted, he's going to come up to this point and then he'll turn around. As soon as he turns around, go ahead and give him an axe to the head. Alright, so now that we are axeless, remember there's one right here in the wall, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. Do that quickly because there is another haunted. It's kind of hard to see him, again, because there's no lights, but he is over there. And so now I'm going to throw some glow sticks just so I can try to get some more visibility in this room. I should point out too, there's something I didn't notice in chapter 3, so I recommended just spamming the glow sticks. It turns out that while you do have an infinite supply of glow sticks, only 3 of them will remain lit at the same time. So you'll notice I just threw 6 of them and the first 3 are now gone. And that's because once I threw the second 3, the first 3 turned off. So that's something I did not notice until I was recording this chapter. So in my chapter 3 walkthrough, I didn't mention that. And sometimes that just happens. I hate when it happens, but sometimes it happens. Alright, so this haunted, I'm going to lure him over here. And now I'm going to sneak around this kitchen equipment. And you see he's going to come slowly investigate. And so what am I going to do? You guessed it, axe to the head. Alright, and so now there is one more haunted in this area, but we're actually going to leave him be. We're going to have to sneak past him, but we're not going to kill him because you don't have to. It's actually easier to just sneak past him, especially because now we don't have an axe in our inventory, which sucks, but you know, sometimes that's just what you got to deal with. So anyway, you can see the second picture far off in the distance, and that's where the third haunted is going to be, so hopefully you just spotted him right there. So what you're going to do is sneak along the right side of this room, and then past this shelf is going to be a vent. Kind of hard to spot. When I first found this, on my initial playthrough of this game, I didn't see this vent, and it was a lot harder to sneak past that guy. The vent makes it really easy. So you see here, the vent is actually going to take you right to the picture. And this haunted, he's basically going to be walking around. So there's this giant shelf, and he's going to switch sides every once in a while. So right now he's on the side that we need to be on, but eventually he's going to turn around, and he's going to go to the other side. And so as soon as he does that, you should have plenty of time here. Just sneak up to the picture and burn it. Now remember, like I said, after you burn this picture, the haunted will not disappear, so you're not necessarily out of the woods yet. there is one more picture that you're going to have to burn. So you see Leslie's going to go into this room here, and that's where the third picture is. So you can't, you probably can't kill the Haunted because you don't have an axe. There might be another axe lying around somewhere, but it's just not really necessary. You don't need to worry about it. So now we're just going to sneak back through the vent. And we're going to go through the door that Leslie just opened. We're going to sneak around, or not sneak, but we're going to walk around Leslie, and then we're going to burn the third picture, and that's going to deliver a short little cutscene. And so when you go around him, you can see how he's kind of possessed right now. You might take a little bit of damage, so you see right here I did take a very small hit, but that's I think it's inevitable, so don't worry about it. Anyway, burn the picture, and that will trigger a short little cutscene.
Please don't. It's all right. Everything's gonna be fine. I hope.
Not safe.
Alright, so now you're just going to follow the path, and we're going to come across another cutscene, which is a bit longer. I think it's like 2 or 3 minutes. And just for a note on the cutscenes, guys, if you are at all interested in the story of The Evil Within, and if you have any interest in the sequel, I promise you now you're going to want to watch all the cutscenes in this chapter, especially the cutscene at the end. It is very important, and I'm actually going to discuss it for a little bit at the end of this video. So if you want to hear my analysis, make sure you stay tuned till the very end. But I'm just going to tell you right now, this cutscene is huge. It is very important. Anyway, here comes the next little cutscene.
Leslie can go home? Can take the train all the way home?
No, Leslie. Not today.
You'll protect me?
Yes. That's my job.
Good, good, good. When I get home, they'll be surprised.
It's not your fault. I'm sorry.
Stop! You're making a terrible mistake.
You don't understand. You don't know what he'll become.
We know exactly what he'll become. That's why we need him.
You don't understand what Ruvik is after.
Ruvik is a corpse.
He's after Leslie.
And so are we. And you're more afraid of him than us?
Don't patronize me. I have orders. But I can't let him have this boy. Leslie is the only one who can... Don't do it! Damn it! No!
And let me just make it clear, right before that cutscene started, I was talking about a really important cutscene. It wasn't necessarily that one. The really, really important cutscene is at the very end of this video. It's the last cutscene of the level. It's the last cutscene of the DLC. And if you at all care about the story, you're going to want to watch it. The rest of these cutscenes, I find them very entertaining. One problem I have with the Kurayami mode is that they turn off the lights in the cutscenes too. And I don't like that because I can't see what's happening and you guys can't see what's happening. So, you know, on one note I do apologize for that, but on the other I can't really control it. It just comes with the territory. If you're going to play on Kurayami mode, you're not going to have lights during the cutscenes. It's all right in the end because you can still hear and you can still see some things, but they would be much more enjoyable if you could just see them in their entirety. But so I just wanted to let you guys know that I was sorry about that, but you know, it's just something that happens. All right, and one question I want to ask you guys: when The Evil Within 2 comes out, what are your plans for it? Are you planning on playing it for yourself? Are you planning on watching my walkthrough? Are you planning on watching someone else's walkthrough? I'm curious to know. I know that, you know, so in this room here, we're back at Beacon Mental Hospital. There's going to be a couple haunted in here. I'm going to show you a really easy way to sneak by them all. Again, I'm spamming these chemical lights without realizing that you can only have 3 of them lit at a time. So that's kind of my mistake. I'm just throwing them at free will. But anyway, it's actually really easy to sneak past these guys. And if one of them happens to see you, there's a lot of vents that you can cower into. So just go ahead and do what I do here. Sneak along the right side. I think there's 3 haunted total in this area. So I'm going to sneak over here. And there's a vent right here in this corner, so if one of the haunted happens to see you, you can just hide in here, wait until they lose interest, and then you'll be safe. So all in all, this part's not very difficult. But yeah, so I know a lot of people don't care for horror games. They just don't like survival horror because it's stressful, and there's a lot of people who, when they play video games, they just like to relax. That being said, a lot of these survival horror games are masterpieces. I think probably the best example is The Last of Us. So one of my friends, you know, he didn't necessarily want to play The Last of Us because those types of games stress him out, and he didn't want that. Pick up this axe right here. And so he was talking about it might just be a better idea to watch a walkthrough for it on YouTube, because that way you don't have to go through the stress of playing the game, but you also get the satisfaction of experiencing the game, at least on some level. And so I feel like that might be the case for Evil Within and Evil Within 2. You know, some people, they might not want to put themselves through the stress that this game has to offer, but they still want to see the game. And so that's kind of my question for you guys. Do you plan on playing the game, or do you plan on watching me play the game or someone else playing the game? And if so, why? Is it because maybe you just don't have, maybe you just right now aren't, you know, there's a lot of reasons. You might not be financially able to buy a new game right now. That's understandable. You might just not have the time to play a game right now. And so if you want to share, feel free to share. You don't have to, you know, if you don't have the finances right now to pay for the game, then you don't have to share that. I don't want to put anyone in an awkward spot, but I'm just kind of curious. At the root of it, I'm curious why people sometimes choose to watch games versus just playing the game for themselves. That's a big question that I always wonder, because for me, obviously, I have the channel. I like playing the games. I'm not as big of a fan as watching. So for those of you that do enjoy watching, I would love to know why. All right, so anyway, you saw what I did there was I just lured the haunted over. And now what I'm going to do, I just hid in the vent until they lost interest. I'm going to throw a bottle in the middle of this room. You can see that this haunted that's kind of blocking my way, he's going to go run and check it out. And you're going to have plenty of time to do this, so go ahead and just run over to this door. You're going to have to mash the A button, so you are going to have to make sure you have a couple seconds. You're going to get into this room here, and that's going to trigger a small bit of dialogue with the Mobius Man, and then we can move on to the rest of the game. So here you go. Here's that little cutscene.
Answer our questions. What are you afraid of? What could haunt you so? What could you need that only we could be the ones to fill it? Was your waste of life something you wish to return to? Are you not grateful for what we've done for you? We let you into our circle. We gave you a new life. Why will you turn your back on us? Why will you not stand with us?
Alright, so you actually have to smash the monitors here. I forgot what it was I needed to do. But this next part of the game, it's going to be similar to the beginning of Chapter 3. There's just going to be a lot of little, like, intermittent pieces of dialogue between Jimenez and the Mobius Man. So again, I'm not going to talk during those, but just know it's going to be kind of short and choppy. Like, they're just going to kind of pop in and out. And they are a little longer. Each one is probably like 30 seconds to a minute long. Anyway, go ahead and go down these stairs, and you're going to see a cut in the video here because I got lost in here and I couldn't figure out what to do, but you're going to see these bodies. Go ahead and go up to the second one and focus your light, and that will trigger the dialogue.
The
are you implying, Jimenez?
After what you did to him, now all of this is just conjecture. But it's as if Ruben's consciousness remains trapped inside STEM, and he's attacking anyone attempting to enter.
This is inexcusable. We need to get around this. We can't have come all this way for nothing.
Ruvik. He was in STEM.
All right, once you do that, you're going to make your way towards the elevator here. So it's going to lower automatically. You're going to get inside and you're going to go up. And then when you do that, there's going to be yet again one more little exchange between Jimenez and the Mobius Man. So I'm going to let you enjoy that. And then we will resume on with the gameplay.
But why Leslie? What makes him special?
Leslie was not always like this. He became catatonic after a traumatic experience as a child. His family was murdered in front of him. The data would suggest that brainwave synchronization with Ruben correlates to specific trauma. In this case, Ruben's own loss of family.
This will not do. We need something else at the core. Something more acceptable to a whole range of people.
So there's one more exchange coming up in about a minute, and then we'll be able to really dive into the rest of the level. Again, it's just, you know, it's part of the story. They have to throw in these little pieces of dialogue, which are interesting. I enjoy them. I really enjoyed this DLC. I thought it was really fun. Kurayami mode offered a good challenge. In the end, I walked away satisfied. It wasn't overly difficult. There were some annoying parts, but all in all, I had fun. I hope you guys had fun watching. Obviously, that's the goal here, is to make entertaining videos that other people besides myself enjoy. So hopefully you enjoyed these as well. I know a couple people were asking me to do this. After I did my Evil Within walkthrough, they said, hey, I want more. Do the DLC. And that's awesome. That shows that the channel's growing because people are starting to make recommendations. Anyway, here you go, last piece of dialogue.
We need someone rational inside STEM. Potentially that person could neutralize Ruben. I mean, Ruvik. With my knowledge of the system, I may be of some...
Absolutely not. We can't afford you complicating this any further. We will prepare one of our own.
Sending someone inexperienced, we can't even be sure they can come back.
Then it will need to be someone expendable.
Expendable. So that's how you see me. And I trusted you.
Awesome. So we're getting closer here. We are now going to jump into a big stretch of gameplay. Things are kind of winding down. Anyway, what you're going to do is, in this room, you're going to see these kind of like clouds of fog, and you have to focus your light on them, and the room will end up transforming to a very disturbing yet familiar location. So the next one is going to be in here. If you focus your light on this giant container, it will transform. Have you guessed yet where we're going? Let me know, because you might not like it. Anyway, return to this room. Focus your light on this bathtub, and you will see that we are now going to relocate to the sadist's chamber. This is the area that Sebastian woke up in at the very beginning of the game, when he was hanging upside down and the sadist was hacking away at some poor victim. And you can now see that we have a little bit of freedom to explore the back of this room. So you can see you can actually sneak behind the staircase here. There's a collectible somewhere in the area. And then right here, you can actually go back. This is where the sadist kind of disappeared for a second back in Chapter 1 of the main game. You can actually pick up an axe on the wall right there. I already had one, so I didn't need to. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool that we got to revisit this location without the stress of having to deal with the sadist. But anyway, once you've taken a nice trip down memory lane, you can go ahead and go the same way that Sebastian went. In fact, you'll see his little flashback image here. And you can go ahead and follow him. And you're just going to go the same way that Sebastian went. So again, you'll see him right here. This should all be familiar if you've played or watched the main game. This all took place in Chapter 1. So there he is when he was running away from the sadist. And then if you remember what happens next, you come to this room with the giant saw blades on the sides. And Sebastian, this is where he gets his ankle cut by the sadist. And you'll see this hatch on the floor. And that's where Sebastian goes. We're actually going to go past it through this doorway up ahead. So I thought it was kind of cool that they did that. We got to see like the inner workings of the sadist chamber through a different set of eyes, which I thought was pretty unique. But anyway, go ahead and open these doors here. It'll seem like something bad is about to happen, but actually you're in the clear. There's not really anything to worry about. At least not yet. So go ahead and go up these stairs. And then just go ahead and continue down the path. I'm going to throw some chemical lights just for my own peace of mind. But you can see that there's a vent right here on the left, so you're going to go hop inside that. And now this is where things get a bit challenging. We are going to get our hands on a sawed-off shotgun, which is awesome. But of course, you know that once you get a gun, that means there's probably going to be more haunted to deal with, and that fact holds true in this scenario. So anyway, you're gonna see a guy. You can't really see him because of the lack of lights, but he's gonna have a sawed-off shotgun, and he's gonna be at the end of this room. So what I'm gonna try to do is lure him over here, but he's too far away. So we have to go deal with this ourselves. So first things first, I'm gonna throw a couple glow sticks into this room just to make my life a little easier. Now I'm going to equip my flashlight back, and now we're going to take this guy out. So if you don't already have an axe in your inventory, go ahead and pick that one up. It's right in front of you. And then just go ahead and sneak around the side of this cubicle. Wait until he turns around, and now go ahead and make your move. So just sneak up behind him, finish him off. I don't know how he missed that shot. Yeah, so finish him off, make a brain smoothie, and then what's going to happen is there's some ammo in this room, and there's a door with a lock on it, and you have to shoot the lock off. So what I'm doing real quick is I'm going to pick up this axe. I'm also going to, I think, pick up that bottle because I don't have a bottle in my inventory. I'm going to throw a couple more chemical lights just to make the room a bit more visible. Again, I still didn't realize that you can only have 3 lit at a time. Here's some ammo. Make sure you pick that up. You're going to want as much ammo as you can. You're also going to want to conserve as much ammo as you can. But in this part here, so there is going to be a part later on where I skip a lot of enemies. But for this part here, you might want to just shoot them all because it'll be a lot harder if you don't. Anyway, right here, I tried to save some ammo by kicking the lock off, but you just can't do that. So instead, you got to shoot it off. And now these guys are going to start rushing you. It takes about 1 hit to kill a haunted, but you see right there, the second guy that I shot, he didn't really take the full brunt of the force, so he didn't go down permanently. So there you see now that'll finish the job. And then just let them get kind of close. Now, I wanted to do that intentionally to show you that some of these guys will actually have guns of their own. So you saw that guy right there. He shot me with his sawed-off shotgun, and I took a little bit of damage. Now, I left that in there intentionally just so you know, because it can be hard to tell if an enemy has a weapon or not. Most of them won't, but some of them will. And then I'm going to pick up his ammo. And again, remember on this DLC, to heal yourself, you just have to stand still for a couple seconds and Kidman will automatically re-heal. Alright, so once you are content moving on, make sure you picked up any ammo that was lying around. We're going to go up these stairs here. And this is why I recommended just killing all of these guys, because upstairs there's going to be another haunted and there's going to be a couple corpses. And it's kind of hard to just run past them all. So I recommend just shooting all the guys down here, and then the haunted that's up here, we can actually sneak past him without wasting any ammo. That being said though, if you do find yourself in a situation where you have to use some ammo, there is some right here that you can pick up. But be careful because the haunted is right in that next room, and you see how he got up to investigate as soon as I picked up that ammo. So if you pick up that ammo, just be careful. But you can see how much harder this would be if there was 3 haunted chasing me from the first floor. So that's again why I recommend just killing them all and then just sneaking past this one guy. So he's going to walk around and investigate. And I'm going to sneak over to this side here. And here's how we're going to get past him. So to the left, that's where where he's going right now, that's basically where we need to go. So we need to get him out of there. Now, of course, I do have an axe, so if I really wanted to, I could throw the axe at, or I mean, not throw the axe. I could sneak up behind him and hit him with the axe, but I didn't need to. And it turns out that I end up not using that axe anyway, so I could have used it and been fine. But I just always like to try to have an axe in my inventory just in case. But if you want to use it, feel free to use it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lure him over there, and then I'm just gonna sneak on right past him. Easy, easy. Go through these doors, and this is where the 2 corpses were that I mentioned, so this is why you don't really want to run away from the guys, because you're not going to be able to run past the corpses without alerting them. But yeah, so you're going to get your way into this vent here, and now you are in the clear, for a couple seconds anyway. So another reason you wanted to save ammo is because this next section is going to be a bit ammo heavy. I am going to show you how to bypass a lot of these guys, but it's still kind of challenging. So what's going to happen is you're going to come to this area, and there's going to be the giant blood pool. And when you drop down, there's going to be 3 enemies that emerge from the pool. But it turns out that if you're quick enough, you can actually just run right past them and never have to deal with them. So this part here, you're definitely going to want to follow what I do. At the moment, I have full ammo, so that's good. And here's what you're going to want to do. Drop down and immediately run for the exit. Don't stay in this room long, because 3 haunted are going to emerge, and you don't want that. Shoot this guy. It only takes 1 shot to kill the corpses. Alright, now jump off this corner and try to get as close to the ladder as you can, and then immediately climb up before that guy's able to grab you. Get close to this guy, shoot him in the head, reload, and now run up again. Shoot this guy. He's going to drop some ammo. Make sure you pick it up real quick, and then pick up this ammo right here. And now shoot this corpse. Do not turn right. If you turn right, there's going to be a Ruvik doppelganger in that doorway, so just go straight, run past that guy, get to this door, and you're in the clear. And that's it. That's all you have to do. There are actually a lot of enemies in that section, and if you take one wrong turn, you're going to get cornered, and it's going to become increasingly difficult. So by doing it that way, you're able to minimize the amount of ammo you use, and it just makes your life way easier. So definitely I recommend doing it that way. And yeah, all that remains now, guys, is the final boss fight, which turns out to not be too difficult. But anyway, you're going to come across this room. I'm going to throw a couple glow sticks because it's just really dark and hard to see. But you're just going to follow the path. There's not really anything to worry about here. And you're going to come to this large open room, and that's where we're going to see another piece of dialogue with the Mobius Man.
Very disappointing, kid. Such a simple mission, but still, you act out. Thankfully for us, there's always a backup plan. Not everything we give you is for your benefit.
The infusion. What did you put in me?
We needed to know if one of us could survive in the system. But we're not about to risk anyone of value. You were sent to carry us in with you. So here I am.
No. It's Ruvik. He's making all of this.
So yeah, we're getting really close to the end. I got turned around in here. I couldn't figure out where to go. It turns out that after he's done talking, the other path on the left side of the room automatically clears up, which is, again, this is just kind of the frustration that comes with Kurayami mode, is you always get turned around because you can't figure out where to go. So you see here, I went up to this door. I think that's the door I came through. And then there's another door right here. Don't go through that door either because you can't. Instead, you're going to follow the room around, and you can see how all the stuff that was currently blocking our way is now clear, and we can successfully go through this gate on the left. So go ahead and focus your light on it and get inside. Now, from this point here, there is going to be one more area where we have to deal with some haunted, but I recommend not wasting any ammo because you're going to want to use that ammo for the final boss. So from here until the final boss, we're not going to use any ammo. And you see right here, I was able to pick up 3 shells, and that will give me full ammo, which makes life a lot easier. And now we're going to save our game. I think this is the final time we'll save it. And here we go. This is the final stretch. I think there's like 18 minutes left. Some of it is going to be cutscenes, obviously. Coincidentally, this video turned out to be almost exactly the same length as Chapter 3, which, I don't know, I just thought that was a bit crazy. I think Chapter 4 is easier than Chapter 3. Let me know what you guys think if you also played through this DLC, but I thought Chapter 4 wasn't that bad. Alright, so now you're just going to follow the path, and we are going to, once again, I think come to a familiar location. You should recognize this area from the main game. We traveled here as Sebastian, as we were going to face Ruvik for the final time, and so we're going to do the same thing here. So you're going to see all these haunted on the ground. Don't worry about them. They're all going to stay dead. You're going to go down this dark hallway, and you're just going to go down to the very end. You might see a small cut in the video here, but that's because I died on my first attempt of this. But anyway, approach this elevator, press the button, and then immediately turn around and sprint to the other end of the hallway where we came from. And that's because you're going to have to wait a couple seconds for the elevator to get here, and in that time there's going to be about 3 haunted that spawn. And what we're going to do is we're going to lure them to the opposite end of this room here, and then we're going to juke them, because in this room we have a lot of room to maneuver. In the hallway there's not a lot of room to sneak around these guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lure them all in here, and now you see I'm going to run past him, sidestep this guy, and then juke the third guy, and now we're in the clear. So now we're just going to return to the elevator. You do want to move quickly here because the haunted are kind of fast, so as soon as you build up your sprint, go ahead and get there as fast as you can. And then once you get inside the elevator, you should have plenty of time for it to come. And then once you get in here, the doors will automatically shut, and that's going to trigger a piece of interactive dialogue right now.
You won't answer our questions. Is it out of fear? Fear is such a subtle thing. But when one experiences true fear, is when they can be controlled. They can be molded. STEM is an abortion, a machine designed on the premise of fear. But in a sense, it is perfect for what we hope to achieve. You will be the first. You will bow under this fear, or you will die. You will serve as an example for what we will become.
Alright guys, you're going to come to this area here, which again you should recognize from the main game. Before the final boss, there's going to be about a 3-4 minute cutscene, but real quick I want to show you something that I thought was awesome that this game did. So in the center of this room you can see what is Ruvik's brain. It is what is controlling STEM, and we came across this in the main game as Sebastian, and Sebastian seemingly destroyed the brain. You can do the same thing here, and it turns out you can end the game early without even having to kill the final boss. So check this out. Pull out your shotgun, shoot the brain, and you can end the game without ever having to fight the final boss. So there you go. You shoot the brain. The credits will begin to roll with some upbeat music playing. And I just thought this was amazing. So check this out. You think you've beaten the game. You get happy. You think, oh wow, I discovered a little cheat that allows me to skip the final boss. And you feel all proud of yourself. And it turns out the game is literally just screwing with you. So you get this image and then... What the fuck? I loved that. I really loved that. So it turns out, no, you do have to fight the final boss. You didn't actually beat the game. I thought that was a really cool thing that they threw in there. I just really enjoyed that. And it turns out for doing that, you can get yourself an achievement. But anyway, go through these doors. That's going to trigger about a 4-minute long cutscene, and then we will get into the final boss fight.
Sebastian, get away from him. Sebastian, listen to me. Stop. Your interests are the same as ours.
Look, I get it. You're not just some rookie detective, and this is not just some ordinary kid. You killed Joseph and you shot me. So right at this moment, that's enough reason for me not to trust you.
You're a good man. That's why It doesn't matter anymore. If you know who this kid is, if you know anything, you know why he can't be allowed to live.
Bullshit. It's Ruvik. He's the one that... Leslie, stop! Leslie!
You failed. We gave you an order and you failed.
No. None of this is real. You aren't real.
You want to believe that, but I'm right here. I've been with you this whole time.
This world is a nightmare. But I'm not afraid of you anymore.
That just shows how little you understand. You should be very afraid. We have you, kid. And you know the consequences for failure. We won't let you just leave us. You fulfilled what little use you had. This world is a prison for you to rot in.
Fuck you. I've had enough of this. I'll kill you right here.
Alright, here we go. Starting off with the fight, you're going to have your shotgun equipped, and there's going to be a couple of the guys that will spawn around you, and then you'll see him and he'll reach for you. Every time you see the one with the red hand, that's the guy that you're going to want to shoot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to kind of run around in circles, trying to avoid these guys as best I can, and you're going to want to listen because you'll be able to hear when he lunges for you. So that was right there. I turned around, shot him, and you'll have to shoot him about 3 or 4 times before he goes down. So now we're going to resume the strategy, just kind of run around, listen for him, try to constantly turn your camera so that you can see him when he emerges. And he's going to emerge right now. And then I'm just going to shoot him. And we got to do that one more time. So this is the first part of the fight. There's like 4 different parts. And this part's pretty easy. But try not to waste ammo like I just did. Alright, so there you go. After you shoot him 3 or 4 times, he'll go down. And that will give you a checkpoint. And it will also bring us to the second part of the fight. Which, I think it's the third part that I found the hardest. But, so... right now, unfortunately, we're out of ammo. Okay, so this is the hardest part. Never mind, the second part is the hardest part. So these Kidman clones are going to spawn, and they move in a very jerky fashion. So what you're going to want to do is just run around and look for a Mobius symbol on one of the walls. And when you find it, shine your light on it, and that will unlock some ammo. Now, this ammo will infinitely respawn, so just stay in this general location, and you're going to have to shoot each Kidman clone 3 times with the shotgun. The main key here is to not stay in one place for too long, so try to constantly move around, rotate that camera so that you can see behind you, and just keep shooting. There's going to be 3 clones in total, If you miss a shot, that's not the end of the world, it's okay. But notice how I'm kind of staying in this same general area, and that's because the ammo will infinitely respawn in that area that I unlocked. So as soon as I run out of ammo, I'm just going to return, pick some up, reload, and then go back to work. Now again, the biggest thing is notice how I'm just always moving. I only stand still when I shoot them, and then I get back to moving. And if you do that, it should be fairly easy to get through this. But again, remember, each clone is going to take a total of 3 shots. Don't focus on any one clone. Just shoot any clone you see. So don't pick one and target only that one, because they can just disappear really easily. They move really quickly. It's dark. So don't focus on one. And then once you kill one, you'll know it because it will do like a little slow motion kill. So I think you're about to see that right here when I kill this one. Okay, not yet. So on the next shot, that's when it should work. There you go. So a little slow motion kill. Got a little lucky right there that that one didn't grab me. That's kill number 3. And now we're good to move on to the third part of the fight. If you have ammo left over, that's good. If not, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You can pick some up right here. So before moving on to the next part, you can actually pick up some ammo without having to worry about taking any damage. So I'm going to throw some chemical lights. And yeah, the second part there with the Kidman clones, that's probably the hardest part of the fight. And you get a checkpoint right before it, so it's not the end of the world if you die. But as soon as you get past that, you're pretty much golden. You're good to go. We just got to deal with 2 more small parts that are both pretty simple. So there's going to be one more area back here where you can get yourself some ammo. So it just helps to get all the ammo you can. Make sure you go into the next part with full stock. So here we go. I now have full ammo. We're going to move on to the third part of the fight. Remember, after this fight, we're going to come across a very, very, very important cutscene. So I highly recommend you stick around until the end to see that. Alright, so what's going to happen is these barriers are going to pop up, and you're going to want to hide behind them because he's going to send these waves at you, and there's also going to be a figure chasing you. So what you're going to want to do is bypass him and run straight up to this barrier here. You should have plenty of time to evade the guy, and all you have to do is get close. So right here, I probably could have just run up to him, but I decided to be a bit, careful, and I waited one more time, and then right here, I actually did take a hit. Not the end of the world. I'm going to get right up, go straight towards him, and then you can see how once you get to this point here, this will trigger the last part of the fight. So there's going to be these 2 hands, and when the hands are about to strike, they will show the Mobius symbol. So I took a hit of damage right there just to show you how it works, and now we're going to get to work. So you're going to want to shoot the red symbols on the hands. So here we go. Now we're going to get down to business. I'm going to wait, shoot the hand, and then run out of the way because it might smash down and try to hit you. So you see right there, it actually was able to get me. But that's okay, don't panic. There we go. 2 shots on each hand will do the trick. You see I only have 2 bullets remaining though, so you are going to have to be careful. There is some ammo on the floor, however, so check this out. I shot the hand. There's the ammo on the floor. So now both hands are out of the way. He's going to be momentarily stunned. I'm going to pick up this ammo. You might want to do this quickly just so that he doesn't regenerate the arms. I don't know if he can do that or not. And then you just shoot him once. And as soon as you shoot him, guys, that will be the end of the consequence. It will be the end of Julie Kidman's story, and unfortunately for my channel, it will be the end of The Evil Within, at least until the sequel comes out on October 13th. So to end it, you're going to pick up this gun, you're going to approach the Mobius Man, and you're going to deliver the final attack. And then, like I said, there's going to be a cutscene that is very important to the story. It's going to be very important to the sequel. And at the end of the cutscene, at the end of this video, before I sign off, I'm actually going to take a couple seconds to analyze the cutscene and share my thoughts on it, and then leave the discussion open to you in the comments. But before we can do that, we just have to slowly approach the Mobius Man, experience a little bit of dialogue between them, and then you're going to be given the option to pull the trigger. So it's not going to actually tell you to pull the trigger, you just have to do it. So let him finish his line.
I'm stronger than you think.
And then do it.
Are you sure enough in yourself? Sure enough to face the responsibilities of your actions?
Agent Kidman. We've got him from here.
How long has it been?
37 minutes since the first pulse.
How did we get here?
What are you talking about?
Just give me a minute. I need to get my head straight.
Myra! We need you back here.
All right. But we've got word he wants a debriefing as soon as you get back.
Myra. Ah, damn it. What the? They were right. I failed. But they didn't count on you. I owe you one. Welcome back to the real world, Sebastian. I hope you find what you're looking for. Leave that one. And those two. They're not going anywhere.
No one is.
So there you have it, guys. I am now done with the consequence on Kurayami mode. That achievement right there is the 71st and last achievement for the game. I am finally done with this. And how about that cutscene? So, in case you didn't pick it up, Myra is Sebastian's wife that went missing after their daughter was killed. And if you haven't been following The Evil Within 2, that whole game is focused on the fact that Sebastian is trying to save his daughter. So I was really surprised to see that they did such an important cutscene in a DLC. I felt like that cutscene should have been included in the main game, because you're led to believe that Myra is just dead or she's out of the picture, and then it turns out not only is she alive, she is working for Mobius, and she knows Sebastian is caught in STEM. So that just opens up so many questions, and then I'm always really curious to know at the very end there, when Kidman says, leave those two, they're not going anywhere, I don't know who she's talking about. So if you know, or if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments below, because obviously she lets Sebastian leave. So who are the two people that she says to leave there? Let me know what you think. But anyway here, guys, I just wanted to show this off really quickly. The Evil Within, 100%, all achievements, 71 out of 71, 1735 gamer score. Hell yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you get the chance, and I will see you in a week when we come to The Evil Within 2. All right, see you later.